A true crime story of how they were caught. Kathleen Lorick was on a walk in Concord, California, while speaking to her husband on her phone. Her husband heard her moan and gasp, and the phone went dead. The husband called co-workers who couldn't find her, so police were called. When police arrived, they saw streaks of blood on the concrete that led to a wooded area. They found Kathleen in a pool of blood, and she would later die en route to the hospital. Kathleen was beaten badly, and police would find a metal fence post nearby with blood on it. They weren't able to retrieve fingerprints from the fence post. Police were not able to find Kathleen's cell phone, but a number had called some other residents after the crime. Police learned a man named Juan Sanchez had stolen her phone, but was not involved in the crime after passing a stress analyzer test, and DNA evidence proved he was not the person. A sketch of the suspect was made after multiple witnesses reported a man out of place on the trail the day of the crime. A scent trail from a canine unit would lead to a residential area. In that area lived a violent offender known as Mark Fisher, so police went to his house. Police learned that less than 24 hours, Mark Fisher had apparently ended his own life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. They compared DNA from his house to the rape kit, and it did not match. 9 days later, a mountain biker recognized the sketch of the suspect and told police that he had shared a cigarette with the man on the trail. The mountain biker showed police where the cigarettes had been smoked, and they were still on the ground, and police collected them for possible DNA. Witness also gave another important clue, saying that the man had told him he worked at a telemarketing firm at Walnut Creek. Well, there was only one in that area, and so police were able to hone in on a suspect who matched the sketch, and his name was Robert Frazier. Robert Frazier was a known violent offender and apparently quit his job right after the crime. They went to his house and spoke to his ex-girlfriend, who said he had fled. She did give police his toothbrush, so they then had his DNA. Robert Frazier's DNA from the toothbrush would match DNA from the rape kit and also skin cells on the metal fence post, which was the weapon. Police were able to easily locate Frazier because he was held in Indiana from a traffic charge and probation offense. When interviewed and presented with the DNA evidence against him, he said that he had been on the trail and urinated, which may have been the reason for the DNA. The DNA from the cigarette butts about 200 feet from the crime also came back to match Frazier. Frazier was sentenced to death and executed, and that was how he was caught.